I remember about 4 years ago when I met Raf and we started hanging out, he asked me this question. The question he used to ask a lot of people, especially during his travels. And the question was, what is the most important thing in life for you? And I remember taking a few moments and then, pow, awareness, self-awareness. And like every cell in my body was so peacefully pleased with this answer, like it came from my center, my being. And it's the same answer I would have given today. It's just that my self-awareness has reached, another level since then. And lately, I've been self-aware about different ego states that take over in different life situations of mine. And today, I don't want to talk about and present all the ego states. There are 6 that I know of, but I want to talk about 2 or 3, let's see. And these are the ego states that are present within me or take on the leading role when I am making a decision. And for me it's so fascinating because there are 2 very different ego states and they bring a consequence of very different quality in my life. And they coexist and they work like completely independently of each other, so it seems. And for me it's super fascinating to observe this and also liberating and empowering to know I can see this and I can come to the core of it and then decide what I want to keep in my life for the future. So the first ego state that I encountered, that I realized I've been using, but less and less, is the child ego state. And I used to activate this ego state whenever I was to make a decision with another person or with a group of people. So whenever others were involved in the decision making, I used to most often answer like this: I don't know, I'm flexible, you decide. No matter what it was about, And yes, sometimes I really am flexible, and I love this. It's a part of me being open and really free. But a lot of times, or most of the times, when I used to say I'm flexible, I wasn't really flexible. I was simply numb. Why? When I say my child ego state used to get activated, this means that a program from the past, from my childhood, gets activated. Now, what was going on when I was a child? Number one, I took on a role model. One of my parents who used to put everybody else's needs before their own. So I adapted this program. And number two, the situation, the atmosphere within my family was already a lot of times tense. And I decided it's safer for me to just adapt, to follow, and not to really express my needs and wishes because it's already messy enough without my input. I didn't want to be the extra burden. So I started numbing myself as a survival strategy. And I kept this survival strategy up until now. Now I see it and I'm able to decide if I give it still space and power or I do it other way. And it's hardcore for me to observe how now, when I'm a grown-up woman, still somebody asks me a simple question: what do you want to eat now? Where do you want us to go for lunch, for example? And I cannot say that there is always fear present, but there is, or there used to be, like this immense unclarity about what I want. And even for very simple things, I needed to take really some time to get in touch with what I really want and what I really need. And then the fear came up whenever I was about to express this very directly, very clearly. I want this, or let's do this. Whoa, for me it was like breaking some chains, and I didn't know what this will bring, even when it came to deciding about what to eat. Yeah. So deeply rooted, and I'm, wow, so grateful that actually Raf is the one who made me see it, and offered me this experiment to just, whenever we are doing something together, not to ask him or to follow him, but to just take a moment, check with myself, and directly, strongly, powerfully propose, let's do this, or I want this and this and this. And it was really a breakthrough for me. So I've been shifting from this child state, living in the past, making myself small, making myself numb, into the what? The adult state. So the second ego state I want to talk about today. Now, interestingly enough, when it comes to me making a decision that involves only myself and my animal companions, I've always been super clear, super decisive, courageous, and even ready to jump into unknown. And this kind of ego state that doesn't act from the past or the fear of the future, but acts out of what is alive, what is present within me now, is the adult ego state. And luckily, this ego state has been running my life and taking over the decision making when it comes to only me. So when I don't think of or relate to with other people. Now there's something I find fascinating about this ego state. And this is that it's only this ego state that is open for support, for guidance from another ego state of ours that we might call the inner guidance or the higher self. And it is sometimes also called, and I love this expression actually, the archetypal lineage. Now, just to be more clear, me and my sister, for example, we for sure have the same ancestor lineage, but it does not necessarily mean that we have the same archetypal lineage. The archetypal lineage is like a lineage of wisdom keepers that feed my being, that guide my being, and they come, and their wisdom and their power, they come from beyond our human level. And whenever I am in my adult ego state, making a decision or something else, I am open. I'm open to the guidance of my archetypal lineage. And sometimes this lineage pushes me into making a decision that I don't really understand, for example, why I'm making this decision, or why do I need to do this move now. But my trust in life and my trust in this wisdom, this beyond human wisdom, is so strong that I've done it. And it always brought me into a beautiful flow, and it gave me a new experience on another level of the spiral. So this is something that I've been strongly rooted in since I was a child. I guess also thanks to my mom, who was always open and has always talked about it in her own words and in some way also lived it. And she encouraged me to keep this alive within me. And for sure, without this part of me being so alive, so fed, uh, I wouldn't have come to where I am now. And I'm super grateful for this too. So, child state, adult state, and the archetypal lineage are three ego states that I've presented to you this time. Let me know if one of them or more resonates with you, if you recognize it leading, guiding your life, or taking over your life also. Yeah, I'll be happy to hear what you wish to share. And if you want to know more about it, please join us in Abu Galum or contact me privately, and we can see what's behind your programs also.